Hello, guys.
Hello,
Good,
Samantha.
good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Be sure you turn
Hello,
off the phone, please.
Miss Amanda.
One second. Don't know who's talking. One second. Please raise your hand to speak so that I know who you are.
Hi, Miss Amanda.
Good morning. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand and I'll answer you, okay? All right, Muhammad, what do you need?
This is the last session.
Yeah, this is the last one today.
Okay.
Okay, we know we enter the meeting with our cameras off because when we open the cameras, it's too much for the server and we lose connection. Do you have another question, Mohammed?
No, I forgot to lower my hand.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, I'll just give one more minute for people to come in and then we'll get started because we're still missing about 10 people. We'll give them 1 minute. Please write your name in the chat for attendance. Write your name in the chat for attendance, please. All right. So today we're going to talk about persuasive writing. And we're going to talk about the steps that you should take when you are planning to do a persuasive writing. Okay, this week we'll do persuasive writing in class along with our new story. And you'll have your grammar quiz at the end of the week, and then it'll be time for a writing project for persuasive writing. Okay? Yes, yes.
What page?
Page 220.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so in the language arts textbook on page 220, this is persuasive writing, and this talks about the different steps you go through when you are planning to write a persuasive writing. And we're going to briefly discuss each one. Please be sure you write your name if you did not write your name in the chat. All right. So we begin our writing. Yes, Malik.
Miss Amanda.
Yeah.
So the project, what is it gonna be about?
Honey, I didn't announce the project yet. I just said we will have one, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, dear. Okay, so when we start to plan a persuasive writing is what? Who can tell me what a persuasive writing is? What is the job of a persuasive writing? Your job as a writer to do what? We took persuasive writing in class. Who remembers? Ragmini, what does it mean to do a persuasive writing? What is the purpose of it?
We have to try to convince that the author has to feel that he's somewhere and he really needs to feel it.
Okay, so it's important to express your feelings and your opinions because you want to do what? What is it that your goal is? You want the writer to do what? Muhammad?
To entertain the readers.
No, that's not persuasive. Persuasive is not for entertainment. What is persuasive writing about? Hamza?
The author wants the reader
to the author wants the reader to think the same opinion.
That's exactly right. Your job as a writer, when you do persuasive writing, is you want the reader, the audience, the people who are going to read your paper to have the same opinion that you have. It's
Yes.
your job to convince them. Okay, it's
Yes.
your job to convince them to believe your opinion. All right, so we'll start. Let me see if there's a question here. Jenna, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to see what's persuasive writing.
Okay, Dawn. All right, so we'll start right at the beginning. I'm going to put you guys' hands down. All right, there we go. All right, so persuasive writing is when the writer tries to convince the readers to agree with his or her ideas. Okay, it's one way that you can share your opinion. Whatever you think about a topic, you can write about it, and it's one way to share your opinion with others. All right, when writing a persuasive writing, or any writing for that matter, you have to think about the purpose, the reason, the purpose is the reason, and the audience. The audience is the people that are going to read your paper. The people that you are trying to convince in this case, because the purpose is to convince the readers to think like you. All right, so it says the purpose of persuasive writing is to influence the audience's opinion about a topic. So we want the people who are reading our paper to walk away after reading it with the same opinion that we have. All right, this particular example that we're going to look at is a book review, which means someone read a book and they're going to write about the book. What do they think about this book? So before you begin writing, you have to think about the audience. Who are you going to talk to? Who's going to read your paper? For instance, if you were writing a paper that only I was going to read, you might not write it the same way you would write it as if you were writing for your friends. Okay, you think about the person who's going to read your paper and who you're trying to convince, and you try to appeal to that audience. So you want to write something that they can relate to. Maybe with your friends, you would use examples of things that happen to you as students, because that's something you all share. As a teacher, you might write to me about something that you want to share with me only. You think about who is going to read your paper when you start writing. All right. Now it says, what special words can help you write persuasively? Remember, we talked about opinion words? Words like, who can remember some opinion words? If you remember, please raise your hand. If you remember opinion words that we talked about last week. Very good. Wahba, what do you remember?
I think,
Yes,
Miss, I think is a opinion word.
that's right. I think is an opinion. Think is an opinion word. What else? Do you have another one?
No.
Okay. Ragmini, do you have another opinion word?
Yes.
What do you have, hon?
1 minute. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, Ragmini, I'm going to ask Jenna and then I'll come back to you. Jenna, what opinion word do you remember? Hello? Lamb, what opinion word do you remember?
I guess.
Not I guess. Not I guess. Let's see.
Oh,
Wahma, you have another one?
Miss, I said
Yes.
Go ahead.
There will be.
Sorry?
There will be.
There will be? Not sure. I guess it depends on the words of the sentence, but that's not what I would think of as an opinion word. Leanne, did you want to say something else?
yes. I didn't say. I said I guess.
Okay. And so you're going to guess? What's your guess? I guess is not an opinion word. Do you have another answer you want to tell me?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. Just listen, no problem. All right, Rahmini, did you come up with another opinion word?
Yes. According to me.
I'm sorry?
According to me.
According to me. Maybe. I guess if you're just going to talk about what you think, sure, maybe.
I
But
have another one too. I have another one.
go ahead.
In my opinion.
In my opinion, sure. If you say in my opinion, that would definitely signal that you're going to talk about an opinion. Very good. All right. What about you, Hamza? What can you add?
Miss, I'm not Hamza.
Miss,
Yes.
opinion word like we should.
Should. Okay. Should is an opinion word. Should leads you to think that what I believe, I want you to believe because I'm telling you, you should. Very good, Hamza. Reem, who I was going to call on next. And I clicked you and Hamza at the same time so that I could ask you both. I was going to ask you next. Do you have an opinion word?
Yes,
What is it?
I think.
Think. We've already said think. Thank you. Think is an opinion word. Jenna, another one?
Believe.
Believe, sure. I believe. Okay, so we have I believe, I think, in my opinion, should. There was one more that we discussed in class specifically. Let's see. Yeah, do you know?
Miss, I don't understand.
Okay, honey, I'll explain when we finish listing the words. I'll explain it again for you. Yeah, do you know an opinion word?
Yes.
Go ahead.
In my opinion.
Yes, that's what Ragmini said, in my opinion. All right, Abdurrahman, you know an opinion word?
What about?
I'm sorry?
What about?
Yeah, what about is not an opinion word.
Samantha,
Yes, Jenna,
I have another example.
give me.
Agree.
Agree. Yeah,
This
maybe
opinion
agree. It
would
depends on how you use it in the sentence, but maybe agree, sure. Basil, do you have another opinion word?
I think remind or remember.
No, I think we're getting far away. I'm going to ask you all to put your hands down and we're going to talk now. The opinion words are words that show that I am stating. Please mute your mics and put your hands down and listen. The opinion words are words that state that you are giving your opinion, which means you are telling people what you think. And we use these words to signal our reader that we want them to think like we do. Words like you should, we need, I believe, I think, in my opinion. Okay, these are words that let your reader know that you're going to tell us something that you want us to believe. Okay, that's what opinion words are. Words that show that you are going to give your opinion. Do you understand now, Ian? Yeah, do you understand what opinion words are now?
Can you repeat it?
Okay, listen this time. Opinion words are words that show the reader that we are going to give our opinion, that we are going to tell the reader what we think or what we believe. And we use words like this to help the reader understand so that we can try to convince them to think the same way that we think. You understand?
Yes, like I should.
Like should, sure. Should is perfect, yeah. Yes, Mohammed, do you have a question?
Miss, I want to say something. The opinion words, it's like bad, good, right, love,
No,
fear.
those are not opinion words, honey. Opinion words are
Like
words.
an opinion
Word like wood.
Not would. Opinion words are words like should, because you want the reader to think what you think, so you're telling them that they should. Opinion words are the words like I think or
Oh,
believe.
like I believe, I think, I convinced,
You can say I'm convinced.
I
Yeah.
convinced.
Yeah.
I have one.
These are
Yes.
words that show that you believe what it is you are talking about. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Now, Abdurrahman, do you have a question?
No, I won't say an opinion word.
Tell me.
You must.
Yeah, must can also be an opinion word, like need, sure. Very good. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do is to choose a topic. Now, you have to decide what you're going to write about when you write persuasive writing, and you have to pick something that you have an opinion about, because you're going to try to convince your reader to believe your opinion. So you have to choose a topic that you have a specific opinion about. Now, the person in our example here, remember, he's writing about a book he read and whether or not the book is a good book to read or not. So first thing that you have to do in choosing your topic is to brainstorm. Brainstorm means to come up with a list of ideas and write them down. Think of possible ideas that you could write about. Okay, and then you list them, and between the list, you choose one that you think you would like to write about and that you think would be easy for you to convince the reader to think the way that you think. Okay, let's take a look at the next page. This is what we call a fact and opinion chart. Now, when we're preparing to write, we're going to take the information that we have and we're going to write the information in a fact and opinion chart. Mohammed, do you have another question?
No.
Okay, honey, put your hand down. Guys, please stop turning on your camera. Leave your camera off, please. All right. Now, in the fact and opinion chart, we write down the information that we plan to use. We separate it by what we know is a fact, and we separate it into what we know is our opinion. So here it says facts, present for my best friend. So the book is a present for his best friend. The book is about life on the prairie. And the book he chose is about a woman who joins a pioneer family. He chose the book Sarah, Plain and Tall. It's a very famous story, and many fourth graders read it in year 4. This story is very well known, so I know enough about it to know that it's about a family that lives on the prairie and the woman comes to join their family. Now, his opinions, what he thinks after he read the story, is that one, everyone will love this story. So obviously he loved this story very much, and he thinks that everyone will love the story. The story, when he read it, it made him feel happy and it made him feel sad. So he thinks that you'll feel sad and you'll feel happy when you read it. He thinks it's a great book, and he thinks that the book grabs your attention. The book makes you want to read. Remember how we talked about when we write, we should always use a sentence that grabs the attention of the reader to make them want to continue to read and to make it interesting so that the reader wants to read. Okay, I'm gonna close the chat. All right. All right, so these are his opinions about the book he read. He thinks everyone will love it. You're going to feel happy and sad. It's a great book and it's going to grab your attention. So you're going to be interested in reading it and you're going to want to finish it, okay? All right. Now, the next thing that you do after you list your facts and opinions, these are things that he felt were important to tell you about the story. He chose this from the storyline itself. The fact that he bought it as a present to give to his friend, and the fact that it's about life on the prairie and the woman comes. These are facts from the story, okay? And this is a fact that he bought the book to give away as a gift. All right, now the next thing that you do is this is about using the card catalog. We don't have a card catalog anymore, and we don't use periodicals in our library. To do research, we use Google. Now we use Google. Okay, many of us use Google to look up information that we don't know. So he does a search on the story to add information about his book. What he finds when he searches the story in Google, we will look this up, we will type the book in. He finds that the library where he lives has 6 copies, which means if someone wants to read it, it's easy for them to go to their library and pick up a copy and read it. He also found that people who reviewed the book, that's people who read the book and write about it, liked it. Just like he liked it, other people liked it. And there are reviews that he found where people liked the book. It also won a Newbery Award, which is a writing award for children's books. Okay, so he added this to his list. Once he researched the book, he added information. This is what you do to put more information in your writing. He chose to write the other things himself. He found this information when researching, so he added it. Now, after we have our information, we have our facts and we have our opinion. Okay? We're going to then decide, how do we want to write? We look at the chart and we think about how we want to place them. Do we want to put them in a paragraph together? Do we want to make a paragraph for each one? Do we want to combine them and make a main idea? We look at the information and decide. Okay? Here it says that this is important. He wants to use this in his 3rd paragraph towards the end. He wants to make sure that anybody who reads it knows that it's easy to go to the library and get a copy if you want to read it. Here he says this is a good idea for the lead or the beginning, the fact that the book grabs your attention. Okay? He thinks that it's important to say that the book is interesting and you'll want to read it at the beginning. So he chose, after reading his list of information, to use this as a lead and to put this towards the end. All right? This is why it's important to use the charts to organize your information. It helps you write. Remember how we wrote the charts and then we take the information from the charts and we put it into paragraph form? Those charts make it very easy for you to write your information. All right, so this is the first copy of his writing. This is what we call the first draft. That means the first time that he writes it. And of course, the first time that we write it, we're going to find mistakes. We're going to find things that we want to change. And we're going to find information we may decide we don't even need. All right, let's take a look at what he came up with from his list. Remember, he said that saying that the book grabbed his attention was important to say at the beginning. This is how he leads his first paragraph. He wrote, when was the last time you read a book that grabbed your attention right from the start? This makes the book sound very interesting to the reader. Okay, so he starts off by making his book sound exciting, making his book sound like something you would want to read. All right, then he introduces the main idea. He tells us what it is that he is going to talk about. Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLaughlin will keep you reading. Okay, so this is the name of the book, Sarah Plain and Tall. This is the author, and he tells you it will keep you reading. Remember when he talked about how he felt happy and he felt sad reading? It will make you happy and sad at the same time. Okay, this detail shows how the author, the writer, feels about the author of this paper, the writer, feels about the book. Okay, it's about a woman who joins a pioneer family that has lost its mom. So he gives you a little information about the book. So he's explained to you that this book is interesting. He told you how the book made him feel and how he thinks it's going to make you feel. He says it will make. And then he starts his second paragraph. Now, he made the point in the first paragraph to tell you that the book is interesting and that it's something that he thinks you'll enjoy reading. In the second paragraph, he starts off by saying, some people think this is a great book. Remember on his list where he wrote, it's a great book? Then he tells us who thinks it's a great book. He gives us a fact. An important committee awarded it the Newbery Medal. The Newbery Medal, again, I told you, is a children's award for writing. Okay, so it's given to writers of children's books for exceptional and really great books. I gave it to my best friend for her birthday. Remember, he mentioned that he gave it away as a present to his best friend? In his third paragraph, he's going to tell you how you can read it. You can read this book if you enjoy learning about life on the prairie, family life, and animals. Our local library has 6 copies of the book, so you can get it easily. Okay, so he uses the fact, remember, he talked about there being 6 copies, and it would be easy for you to read to convince you that it's not going to be difficult for you to read it. It's easy for you to read, so you might want to do it. Here he says you won't be disappointed. This is his opinion. He thinks the book is great, so he thinks that you will not be disappointed either. All right, so he's organized his information and he's put it together in his writing. Okay, so he starts off by telling us what he's talking about, the story, a little information about the story and how it made him feel. Then he talks about how the book is a great book. He tells how he knows, he proves it by showing that it won a medal. And he tells us that he gave it to his friend for her birthday, showing us that he thought it was great enough that he bought a copy for his friend. Then he suggests how you can read it, and if you like these things, why you would like it. And he tells you that it's easy for you to get. He also reminds you that he thinks you'll enjoy reading it, you won't be disappointed. Now, after we do the first writing, after the first draft is done, we have to go back and check for mistakes. We have to go back and add things, remove things. We read back through the paper. Remember, this is just the first time that we wrote it, so it's highly possible that we have made mistakes. There are things we might want to add. There are things we might want to take out. This is why we go back and revise. Remember when you take a quiz at school and I tell you go back and revise, you go back to check what you have done? That's the same thing that you do with your paper. Once you finish writing the first paper, you go back and revise and look for things that might need changing. All right, so the writer decides in the first paragraph where he tells us that the book will keep you reading, that he wants to add more details to that. So he adds, keep you reading eagerly until the last page, okay? Here, he also talks about in that paragraph where he tells us that people like the story. Remember, he talks about how it's a good story and it won an award. And he talks about how he gave it to his friend. He decides to add, she loved it, to show that she also liked the book. Now, he also checks the word choice. He finds something here where he wrote, you can read this book if you enjoy learning about life on the prairie, family life, and animals. He changes that to an opinion word. Not you can, but he changes it to you should. Because should makes you believe the way that he believes. This is a word that indicates you should take his opinion, okay? And you should believe the way that he believes. So as you revise, you look for ways to make better paragraphs. You look for ways to improve your writing. You look to change your writing so that your writing is better, okay? And the more you write, the easier it becomes to change your information around, the easier it becomes to write, the easier it becomes to take ideas out of your head and put them onto paper. All right, so, okay. Here it says it will make you happy and sad at the same time. He decides when reading that maybe it's better to say that after he explains that the pioneer family lost their mom, okay? So he decides to move this sentence down to the end of the paragraph. Okay, this is what revising is for, to go back and check what you have written so that you can decide if you want to move things around, if you want to take things out, if you want to add, it's up to you, okay? One other way that you can revise is you can sit with one of your friends. You can read your friend's paper and your friend can read your paper. This is what we call peer conferencing. That means you sit together, and during the time that you're sitting together, you discuss what you think might help each other. You give each other ideas, okay? Sometimes a fresh eye can find a mistake in your paper that you can't see because you've been looking at it so long you don't notice the mistake anymore. But your friend may notice, and vice versa. You can help your friend by looking at their paper. All right, so see, these are the changes that we just talked about that he made to his paragraph. Let's take a look. He changed the title from a book review to a must read. Remember, we said must is an opinion word. He adds here where he said you should read eagerly till the last page. And here he instead of writing some people think, he changed it to everyone agrees that. Remember, he added that his friend loved the book, and he changed it to you should, another opinion word. It's a realistic and exciting story, he added after explaining what the story is about. Okay. All right, so these are things that he noticed because he went back and read his paper again, and he thought of ways to improve his paper. Now, after you finish writing your paper and you're done with what you want to change, then you have to go back and proofread. Proofreading means you go back and you look for grammar mistakes, punctuation, spelling, using the correct verb tenses. You go back and read the paper looking for mistakes. Let's see what he found. As he went back and read his paper, he noticed that he had misspelled the word grabbed. Grabbed, sorry, let me get a little bit smaller so you can see it all at once. There we go. The grabbed is one vowel and one consonant, so we double the B. So he misspelled the word grab. So he wrote here spelling and he changed it. Here, another one, he wrote, I give it to my best friend. It should be I gave. So he changed give to gave. Here, he forgot to put an apostrophe in the word want. And here, he forgot to add commas in his series, prairie, family life, and animals. Okay, so he went back and checked his grammar and corrected his mistakes. It's very, 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 very important to go back and check to see if you have made spelling mistakes. We have Google. You can type anything into Google now and find out if you spelled it correctly or not. You have to go back and check to see if you forgot punctuation, periods, capital letters, commas. Go back and check to make sure that your verbs are written correctly in the correct tense. Okay. Everybody makes mistakes, so you will almost always find a mistake in your paper. Once you've gone back and you've proofread the paper for mistakes, then you are ready to publish. That means that you're going to write your final copy, okay? That means you go back and you write the paper without the mistakes. This is the paper that you turn in to the teacher, okay? So he went back and he corrected all his mistakes. He changed the title. He rewrote grabbed correctly. He added in that you should read eagerly until the last page. He changed the sentence to the end of the paragraph, happy and sad. Remember, it was in the middle. He moved it to the end. He changed to everyone agrees this is a great book. He added that she loved the book. He put the commas in to separate the things in his list, prairie, family life, and animals. And he talked about the library having copies to make it easy for you to read. Remember, from the beginning, he decided that would be his ending. Okay, and so this is his final paper. All right, this is the process of writing a paper. Brainstorm ideas, jot down your ideas in your chart, whatever that chart may be, and there are different charts for different types of writing. Okay, and sometimes we use a sequence chart, sometimes we use fact and opinion, Sometimes we do comparison and contrast and a Venn diagram. There are different types of charts that we use to write down our information, but we must always write it down to help us organize, to help us put our writing in order before we start writing. Then we make our first draft. After that, we revise it, see if there's something we want to change. After revising, we proofread for mistakes, and then we make our final copy. Okay, so we don't just write a paper and copy it and turn it in. No, we go through the steps of checking to see if we made mistakes and if it's possible to improve our writing. Okay, anybody have questions about the steps of writing a paper? No one? Are you still here with me or are you sleeping? Hello, Ragmini.
Sorry about that. I accidentally raised my hand.
That's okay, no problem. I'm glad to know you're still here. Anybody else have a question about writing? Okay, so tomorrow I wrote 51B on the plan for today, but I decided to do 51B tomorrow with our first example of writing that we'll do in class, and I'll do on the video for you, okay? So you don't need to do 51B today. We will do it together in class tomorrow. And for the online students, we will do it in a video together, okay? Ed, what's your question?
What's the meaning of draft?
That's when you write the paper. The draft means the writing.
Draft meaning the right paper?
Yeah. A draft means the writing, when you do the writing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Moaz, do you have a question?
Publish.
Publish means the final one. I'm sorry, I hear more than one person. Moaz, was that you who asked about publish?
Not me yet, Dad.
Publish means that you finish your paper. Publish means to make the final copy.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, Moaz. Hello, Moaz. Moaz, do you have a question?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, honey.
Only the homework is the vocab and literature terms.
Yes, that's it, bud. Yes, Leanne.
Miss Amanda, before you answer our question, what did you say? Because I didn't hear you well.
I don't remember, sweetheart. You can watch the video again if you want. I honestly don't remember what I said before. I'm sorry, I don't
Okay.
remember what I said right before it. Okay, so I only have
It's
1 minute left before the video is going to end. Okay, anybody who doesn't understand something or who wants to go back through it, you can watch the video. I will post it. For the online students, on Thursday, it says that your quiz is at 9:25, I believe. 9:25. This is incorrect. I'm sorry. This is my mistake. At 9:25, instead of 9:25, it's supposed to be at the end of that session. So I wrote the wrong time. Your quiz on Thursday is not 9:25. Your quiz on Thursday is at 10:15. 10:15. Okay? Ragmini, do you hear me? You're an online student. Do you hear me, Ragmini? Ragmini, if you can hear me, please raise your hand so I know you heard me. Adito, if you can hear me, raise your hand so I know you heard me. Your quiz on Thursday is at 10:15. Adito, do you hear me? Hello, Adito. Hello, Adito.